Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, a.k.a. the Black Baritone, and across from me is my falsetto in crime. His name is Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening, Captain.
How you doing, buddy?
Can you take it up a little bit? That's it. Hold it.
Hey, buddy.
Not bad.
Thanks.
You are not bad.
You are not bad either.
Hey.
You're pretty good. But you're not as good as our special guest this evening.
Oh, getting right into it.
Why screw around?
I don't want to screw around at all. Please, introduce our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Let's Try This podcast on the FCF Network, our frequent flyer, the first time she's ever cashing in family frequent flyer points.
Right.
Spoiler alert, you haven't listened to that episode yet. It's Steph from the Let's Try This podcast. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. This is going to be your third flight with us. This is the second flight without your husband, and I'm kind of curious as to what's going on with that. Is this time to get away from him, or does he have something against us, or are you possibly just interested in seeing where this goes?
Can't imagine that's it. Is it a BO problem?
Well, my husband is on the road a lot, and so
Okay,
I have.
this is going where we need it to go, Jason.
I
have a raffle with some of my friends. Like, how long will it will take Stephanie to regret being here? And we've already passed that point, I think.
Being here on the show,
right.
or just
Is
being
it
an
in-
FCF in general, like
All of it.
I wish my husband would have responded to that Reddit post. We're speaking a lot for you.
Yeah, that goes way back. But like I was saying, he's on the road a lot, and also I know Jason mentioned something about me possibly being a co-pilot in the future. So I've been trying to, learn more about the
Aviation.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you?
I was going to say the sky, but
You know what? That's the clinical term. We don't like to use that.
Yeah, that's like high end stuff.
Yeah.
right.
So you're thinking about going on Phoenix Online, and
Right.
so are you going to take over for Jason, or are you taking over for me?
I mean, whatever works, really. I mean, whoever drops out first, I guess.
Now, there's a big difference between me as a pilot because he goes up,
Yeah, and then Captain Philip Restisher does everything in the middle.
and then he brings it back down. You have to think about, do you want to get it up and bring it down, or do you want to do everything in the middle?
If I drop out, it's not like you can learn everything in the middle and then he still does everything in the middle because you guys are going to sit on the runway.
Oy.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
Jason does a lot of work.
Right.
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
that is a lot to think about.
Well, later on in the program, we'll go back to it. We'll give you time to
Okay.
discuss it.
Yeah, because I know there's schools where you just learn how to do the stuff in the middle, and then there's schools
Kind of
where
like a dental hygienist. It's like, I don't want to go to nursing school, and I don't want to go to dentistry school. I'll just clean people's teeth. Scrape,
Yeah.
scrape, scrape, scrape.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
Scraping stuff off people's teeth.
You called in recently to the show,
Okay, yeah.
right? Can we address that at all or not?
I'm fine.
You said you had never owned overalls in your life. Is that right?
I said in 2003 I didn't wear overalls.
But you have worn overalls in your life.
True.
Have you ever owned Chucks? Low
Oh,
tops.
God. Yes.
Have you ever had freckles anywhere on your face?
Well, I have a
Yes
mole.
or no? No, it wasn't a mole.
No freckles.
Okay. And have you ever sighted on the side of like a dark red hair, like a brown?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, so
Now, is it cool to wear, like, if you're wearing overalls, to undo one of them and like flip it back? Is that cool?
That's tricky.
I don't know what cool is.
it used to be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It just depends on the year, honestly.
I was at a
Right
fashionable
now-
store at the mall recently, and
Okay.
there were overalls there.
Yeah.
Are they back?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe yeah, not for me. I don't think I'd ever go back.
I have flirted with overhauls in the past.
Yeah.
See,
Come on, guys. I've flirted with wearing
What
them.
won't you fuck?
Come on.
I'm sorry.
My thing is just like when you can't buy a pair now that aren't broken and nice and soft, and because I would like to use them wear them around the house.
You don't want
Okay,
stiff
okay.
overalls.
Stiff. I had a pair of stiff overalls, and I did everything I could to loosen them up. Didn't work.
Did
So
you
then
ever
I quit wearing them.
What if you got like that oil that you're supposed to rubber band like
Pachetto oil.
Yeah.
That the stoners wear.
yeah, and then you put patchouli,
Right.
and then
Pachello.
you put a softball in there and cover it in oil and then rubber band it overnight. Would that do it?
that might help.
Could help. I've just never found that pair that was just like I could sit in and be
Yeah,
relaxed.
the good thing about overalls, and I think this is why farmers wear them, is because they don't have to like pull up their pants. Like
oh yeah.
if plumbers wore them, they would never have the crack problem.
Right. Like a lot of like carpenters guys
Yeah.
wear them because they're just easy to.
Crack does run rampant with plumbers. Doesn't it?
It's one of the major issues with the plumbing community right now.
I don't I'm not scared of my ass crack hanging out because of like shame.
Right.
I'm like that is an entrance into my body, right? And I don't want something entering my body. But with overalls, it's not even a concern.
Right. And then you wouldn't have to tape your butt crack anymore.
Yeah, all that tape money could be put to better use. Something else I think about with overalls, kind of to your point, Blake, is that they're always denim, right?
Yes.
But you're looking for something a little bit more broke in. Why not like a sweat pant overall?
Well, because then you don't have the durability.
That's-
You don't have the durability then.
I like that idea.
Sweatpants, overalls.
Yeah, I do.
It's like a Snuggie though, right? Because a Snuggie's like a blanket with sleeves. You look like an
Yeah.
idiot, but people will swear by them. But why not the same thing for overalls? Why not some sort of soft, ultra comfortable overall that you can wear that doesn't have to be broken in?
I like it.
I think you should trademark that before this comes out.
Trademarked.
There you go.
Done.
That was close.
It's in writing now. I mailed it to myself, so it's. Is that what you do to trademark something?
I think
Yeah.
so.
You have to mail it to yourself.
Yeah, so then it has a date on it.
Oh boy.
So you're an old pro at this flying stuff, right?
Some could say that, yeah.
Do you take Dramamine before you come over, or do you just go? Do you have a couple of cocktails before you come
Save
over?
your Dramamine for your Mamamine, okay?
For sure.
Mamma
yeah.
mia.
No, I don't really have problems with like motion sickness, except I found out on limos I do,
In
but
limo-
not in
when you're
flight.
in limousines,
Yes.
you have motion
How often are
sickness.
you in limos?
It is the Let's Try This podcast.
Once every like 29 years or so.
So the one time that you've been in one, you're like, I can't handle this.
Exactly.
Did you throw up like your dog?
No, I just did not feel well, and luckily it wasn't a very long drive.
Wedding? Your wedding?
No, I was at a bachelorette party this past weekend.
Oh, this just past weekend.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Do you think maybe it was the alcohol?
No, because I didn't drink that much, but it also was warm in there. Like it was an older limousine, and the
hate
air
warm-
wasn't quite working. And
hate
I
warm
am usually
limousines.
cold. Kevin will attest. And like if you listen to Let's Try This, there was a big fight about hot and cold. But so this is crazy for me that I was hot, but I was very hot back there. They need to like fix the air or something. And then just the motion and going like sideways or backwards or whatever is not okay.
Did anything exciting happening at the bachelor party?
I mean, the maid of honor got really wasted. That's about the only exciting thing. That
Always the
happened.
maid of honor,
And she
never
was-
the bride.
She was the one with like all the directions too, so we didn't really know like what we were doing, like what the plan was.
Oh boy. I feel like there's
You
something.
you guys should have got a hold of us. We could have done.
That's
we
yeah,
could have done. We
true.
Air service?
Air service.
Yeah.
We should have.
Lift.
Well,
We just spelled it different.
we call up our good friend Mr. Stewart, right?
No. We would name our company Lift.
Okay.
We just spell it different.
Like the regular way,
Thank you.
Like
Trademark.
LIFT.
Mail it to yourself. What you did Steel Justice with us, right?
I did.
And there's another one too?
Well, there was a time.
We lost Steel Justice the first time, right?
Yeah.
So we recorded that one
I was
twice.
I was trying to figure out how to say that. Like
I
that
just say it.
there was a
He's fine. He's
there was a flight that got. We went over the Bermuda Triangle or something.
They
Is
got
that what we
lost
said?
forever. No, but you know what? We should have said
should
that.
have
That would
said
have
that.
been. That would have been witty. Okay, so
We'd end up on an island with Amelia Earhart.
she comes up with good show.
What's was there another one though too, or was that it?
There was something.
How was
else.
it?
Okay, well, because you made it sound like there was a couple.
They were here that one time where he parachuted out.
Yeah, that was
Steel Justice.
Yeah.
So it has been a while.
Well, she came, and then she came back after we lost that first one with Kevin, and then we kicked him out because he only watched part of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he parachuted.
Steel Justice. It was the dinosaur one.
That is Steel Justice.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Blake doesn't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You
both
cashed in your tribe
times.
card, you prick. But you're on IBWIP, so maybe that's what you're thinking.
Okay, maybe that's what I was
True.
thinking.
So it's your second official documented and laminated flight.
Exactly.
Now,
Uh-oh. Hey, don't make it awkward, please.
Yeah.
no. So frequent flyer points.
Right.
That's why you're on this plane.
Right.
Okay. So, as you know, we talked about. You had mentioned, Gus listening to the show, telling his friends about it at daycare, and could he get points? Your husband a while back had communicated to us and said, "Hey, can Gus get points?" And we said, "Yeah. All we need to do is see him in front of a computer or listening and get a picture of that."
Sure.
We never got that. Okay, but we came up with a plan. Is family frequent flyer points,
Okay.
which is what you guys have now. You bundle now.
Okay.
Because it's less invoices. Because each month you get 3 different invoices at your house.
I
It's
mean,
kind of unnecessary.
It's a lot of mail too. I didn't realize you guys were still using snail mail.
Yeah, well, and we also like to do like little
We
promotional
go through
pamphlets.
MailChimp, and it's kind of part and parcel, pun intended, with the service. But yeah, you get a lot of money saving coupons in there too. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right, it's like you Stanley Steamer. You get those. And then there's some
Feldco windows. The installation is a penny. Can you believe that? How do they get away with that?
It's amazing, but
I know.
that's the kind of
Yeah.
we can transfer those kind of savings onto you guys because of the program. So, being a member of the Frequent Flyer program, what can you tell new listeners about the Frequent Flyer? What makes it so special?
I mean, where else can you get a free flight? I mean,
Or surprise prize?
True. Yeah. Or
A pair of underwear,
yeah.
T-shirts.
I mean,
those go the slowest, I find.
The T-shirts or the underwear?
The underpants.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, you can't get
What other
somebody to send you underwear ever.
What
really.
What other podcast rewards you, the listener, for listening?
I mean, I can't think of any.
Thank you.
I rest my case.
No, I'm supposed to rest my case.
Right. I said it for you.
Overruled. This court is adjourned for fan feedback.
Oh, fan feedback. We can do some of that. First Schiersner. Let's see.
He always comes up with these new phrases. Like a while back, he says "prenzel." You ever hear that before?
Prenzel?
Prenzel.
Fuck me, right?
But it's like no, not fuck you. Would you relax?
It's not funny. It's prenzel is how you say it.
Okay.
How do you say it, Steph?
I'm not sure what word we're talking about. Pretzel?
You go to the mall, right?
Yeah.
Auntie Anne's.
Pretzels.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
You're all.
Her and I are from the same side of the Mason-Dixon line, apparently.
Obviously, you're all from a different country. We got a Facebook message from our good friend Dee Dee in Australia. We recently had the Dee Dee special.
Yeah, Australia's naughtiest home videos.
And that was all dedicated to our good friend
that was a
Dee
Dee Dee-centric show. Yeah, she brought the pain on that one.
Yes. She sent a link. It says, "Doesn't mean I will ever stop listening to my captains. They will only be doing your leftovers." And she sent me that the consumption failure to launch podcast is back. It's going again.
Yes. Yeah, I heard part of that episode.
I heard the whole thing. That Australian girl. Now, the girl that you went on a date with didn't sound like that girl.
No, she was an Australian who lost her accent, which is highly disappointing for me.
Right. So the consumption, they are back. Failure to Launch is the name of the podcast, so definitely go check them out. I sent them a message recently, and they're a little slow getting back, but hopefully they get back to us. That was how Dee Dee found out about the show.
Yeah. So, I mean, the consumption gave us that. We have nothing negative to say.
No, never. And it's funny, they do the new episode. It's basically
Heat Vision and Jack.
But
they kind of mocked the
prequel.
idea of doing Heat Vision and Jack because I don't think they felt like it was an earnest attempt at a pilot or something. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know, but we did it.
I loved it. That was a perfect 7 in my book. Have you ever heard of Heat Vision and Jack, Steph?
I haven't.
This is Jack Black.
Okay.
And then like Ben Stiller maybe directed it, and Owen Wilson voiced a bike, and it is silly.
Yeah, that sounds like.
You should go back and listen to
sounds
that.
like gold.
Episode that we did.
Okay.
Don't listen to our episode. Just watch the show. That's way better.
All right.
This is season 10, episode 1, Old Money. And again, Dee Dee comes out and says, from the office of the Australian ambassador, I call on all Australian frequent flyers to donate their frequent flyer points to the Black Pac-Man in his hour of need. Let's make this a global relief project. My points are his to use.
Oh my god,
amazing!
That is incredible. So rarely do I crank the pachinko machine to reverse, but that's exactly what we're going to do. We just need someone's permission to do so. So thank you, Dee Dee. I really appreciate that. I am in my hour of need, unfortunately, and that will help me out quite a bit. They're going to shut off my electricity next week.
Are you serious? Oh, thank God! You had me so worried all the time. I forgot to do that.
What's that?
Damn it. Well, the whole us being racist. I forgot that I wanted to mention that we didn't mention this last week.
Right.
But we had such a call to arms from fans.
And FCFers alike.
FCFers alike.
Were you privy to any of this, Steph?
No.
Do you think we're racist? You listen to the show and you're a good, decent person. Do you think we're racist?
No, I don't think you guys are racist.
I've dated women from all over the world.
Yeah,
And I hate
believe
them
that.
all equally.
Yeah.
No. My daughter is a half Chinese lady, so like, how can I hate?
Yeah, I think we're vulgar at times.
Sure.
For sure.
But I don't think we're racist.
Yeah, exactly.
So fuck that guy, right? Fuck Mark.
Absolutely.
Mark Ratterman. Anyway, Low Blow Podcast came to our
Defense.
Yeah.
defense.
Overruled.
FTFY, which is, I don't know what that means. FTFY, Ratman, whatever. Couch Pilots is the best show ever. So glad I listened to it.
Good. Points.
Didn't even have to say anything
And then he
about
was
racism.
like, he was like, what was racist about it? And then, oh yeah, here it is. Where was the race? He tagged him again. Adam Z, though. And then Adam Z
is a maniac. Okay, he's like throwing a piece of meat out to the wolves.
Right.
Okay. I wouldn't mess with Adam Z.
Oh, I wouldn't either. But he's like, where was this all racist? I mean, what? And he didn't respond back, obviously. And then I do believe, didn't Kevin also come to our defense too, or something?
I'm sure that he did.
Yeah. So fuck that guy.
Oh, I'm sorry that I missed this.
Well, this apparently this guy who's involved the show, and it was Mark Ratterman, and it was Tim Robinson, which Kevin knows.
Right. Okay.
And
Personally, they've hung out and had
Oh
drinks.
yeah, and I listened to that episode.
So we called Kevin
Yeah.
about that, and he talked a little about. I don't think he knew Mark, but Mark
Not biblically.
he didn't have sex with him. But we tagged Mark after the show when the show came out, and Mark's like, "Hey, you guys are kind of racist." So like, I don't know why, because I said the word black. I don't know, whatever. And then they said the word faggot in the show. So it's like, let's call a spade a spade. I guess that's racist too. But
The ace of spades.
we got
but
any more
that does
feedback?
mean that he listened to part of it, right?
I can't deny him that.
Yeah.
Just that our friend Travis Heimel from San Francisco, he retweeted season 9, episode 9. So thanks to him.
He retweeted. That's awesome. Those are helpful. Thank you.
Yes, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Good. Let's board the plane.
Let's board.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Creatively, I'm about drained on how to describe this show. So many different ways. I don't know what else to say. What hasn't been said. So I'm gonna put Stephanie on the spot here.
Sure.
And say, if you had to describe this abomination of a program, how would you do it?
Well, it's a variety show,
All right.
and
No, he's talking about Couch Pilots.
oh my god,
Or are you talking about?
I'm talking about Couch Pilots.
Okay.
Couch Pilots. Okay, I'm here. Don't worry, guys.
I, week after week, I do not describe the Nick and Jessica variety.
Don't let her have any more shots. Don't let her have any more shots.
I know you guys are feeding me so much alcohol here.
Kevin, don't hear that part.
Well, this is a show where you dive into failed TV pilots.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I got. You guys know I'm not too into descriptives.
We do know that about you. That's why I threw it to you. Blake?
The method to his madness.
And you want to add anything onto that?
Yeah, we take a flight every Monday.
You know what I call it? I call it Fun Day. That's what I call it.
It's just another fun day, Monday. Oh, oh. No, but we take a flight and we do some banter, and we go through just the backdoor stuff about these pilots. Then
Right.
we talk about the pilot, and then we find out what people thought about it. Then we rate it, and then we have a good time.
Yeah.
I think first of all, you're entertained. Second of all, you learn about pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You find out stuff you didn't know and interesting facts. Stephanie, am I wrong that you have a lot of times had to pull over your car because you heard a fact that was so interesting?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Every day I'm trying not to just drive right off the road.
Well, you don't have to listen every day.
Yes, she does. Get those numbers up.
Yeah.
Today we discussed the pilot episode of the Nick and Jessica Variety Hour from the year of our Lord 2004.
2004.
Great year. 2004.
Great year.
Yeah. I was 23.
So I was 29.
Yeah.
Where was I at 29?
Or how old is Steph, you think? Why don't you guess real quick? I'm going to guess. I think I know how old she is.
Right now or back then? She was 17.
16.
I think I was 16. I'm not good at mental math.
That's fine.
What's mental math?
Like in your brain only.
Isn't that where all math comes from?
But you don't have a pencil and paper.
Yeah.
Steph, what was 16? What did 16 mean to you? 17-year-old, 16-year-old Steph.
I mean, obviously.
Give us a synopsis of your life at the time. Just let us in.
Give us the summary of your pilot.
I was in high school, obviously, sophomore, probably. I liked going to like quote unquote metal shows.
Oh.
Thought it was cool.
Nickelback.
No, not
like
Nickelback.
local VFWs and American Legions.
Yes. I wore like a studded belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have the collar with the spikes?
No, I wasn't that
Hardcore.
hardcore.
Were you not that hardcore? Your mom wouldn't let you wear that.
Oh no, I wasn't that hardcore. I
Okay.
still wanted to like be cute. I didn't want to be like
Cute but hard. I got
creepy.
you.
Is this in Galesburg area?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, apparently the metal scene was alive and well.
I guess. I mean, for the like sort of weird kids.
Well, this is 2004, so we're talking Papa Roach kind of music,
Yeah.
like the rap
well,
metal.
the ones that I went to was like the screamo type metal.
Really?
Yeah.
So actually, kind of
And it was
hardcore
like
music.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like an underground scene of
Kind of punk
people.
metal. Kind of. It was like the punk scene, but it was metal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's hardcore stuff. So like,
Hardcore parkour.
so that's the type of music. Who are like the big name bands that you like that were in that genre?
I can't even
If
remember.
you say Fall Out Boy, you're gonna fall out.
It would be
of this
like
plane.
Under Oath and
Okay, I've
like
heard of them.
I can't even remember honestly.
Planes mistaken for stars. Is that one?
Sure.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Blake, any information on the
No,
screamos?
I was way older than you guys, and
Are
I
you
think
still
I was
trying to
al-
figure out where you were?
I was already I was already divorced once, and I believe engaged already.
Okay.
Oh wait, you know what? My son was born in 2005, so I was already married a second time.
So is this a period in that marriage where there was bliss?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, well, that's good.
Good year.
That's good. Good year for the roses, as I would say, as I often say.
Well, I'm contractually obligated not to say that about that person
Fair
at
enough.
any point in my life.
It's bizarre. There's a contract for that. I was 23.
Oh, she's got contracts for everything.
This is when I was 23. That's when I discovered that I had impregnated another human being.
Ah,
So it was a terrifying year for this man,
Yeah.
terrifying year for the roses.
as you often say. Oh boy! As much as it pains me to go back to that time in my life where I was a terrified young man awaiting the birth of a baby, we do need to go back in time.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's
do
go
it.
back. Because
2000.
we can't talk about this pilot unless our brains are in 2004.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's impossible to be fair and open about this pilot.
Yeah. CBS uncovers systematic torture of Iraq prisoners at the Abu Ghraib prison. You remember that?
Didn't Jinder Mahal
Yeah.
just have one of those matches with
Who's that?
Randy Orton? Had a how about Jabo prison match?
No, I don't think it was the same.
Homajami prison match.
What does that include? Like bats on fire?
Bamboo and 2 different rings or 2 different cages. It's the same thing, right? No.
I mean,
Okay.
not in my
Waterboarding?
opinion.
Yeah, do you watch? You do watch a lot of wrestling, right? Because Kevin's into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what does that mean? What is that style of match? Are there 2 cages?
Yeah, there was 2 like bamboo cages,
And
but
so-
the prison, was it Abu Ghraib, or I can't even say it either.
ABC the network discovered
CBS.
it.
Probably
CBS?
it's probably their roving reporters.
Okay, they found out what now?
They uncovered systematic torture of Iraqi prisoners.
That we Americans were torturing them.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was bad.
really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
The waterboarding, where it feels like you're
Well,
drowning.
And they would like make them do things when they were naked and stuff, yeah, it was crazy.
Remember that one woman who's she looked really butch, and she was like winking at the camera and like giving the finger guns to like a guy who had like his head covered, and it was
always
the worst shit you've ever seen.
Really?
Their
I don't
head-
remember any of this.
Their heads were always covered, and they'd be like posed in different, like basically like making pyramids out of people that were like naked and stuff.
Like a human centipede?
No,
Yeah.
well, kind of.
I think this is Abu Ghraib was the basis for the Human Centipede trilogy.
Huh, I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
this.
True.
It's pretty terrible.
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. Have you ever tortured someone systematically?
I'm contractually obligated not to say anything.
After increases in fuel prices, the major oil companies make the highest profits in history in ExxonMobil, $242 billion. Royal Dutch Shell, $235 billion. And BP Oil, $232 billion.
That's crazy.
This is what I remember.
That's crazy.
9/11 rolls around, right?
Oh, that day they just
Towers coming down.
Right.
Who's pulling up to the gas station? This captain right here. And there's a line around the block.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very bizarre.
and then went up to like $14 or something.
Well, some of those places price gouge and then
Yeah.
paid dearly for it through lawsuits.
Right.
That I don't think they're contractually obligated to
I
talk about.
remember that day on 9/11, and I was homesick, and I had the flu, and I took some NyQuil, and I in the morning I called in. I'm like, I can't come to work, and I took some NyQuil, and I woke up, and
The
all of a
world
sudden-
had changed.
and the world had changed. And my mom calls, and she says, "You need to go to the gas station right now." And I'm like, what's going on? And then she's like, and so she explained the whole thing, and I went and got gas. I really didn't need to, but I went and got gas.
Silly, right? Like the few years that after that, though, like the price of gas kind of really wildly fluctuated. And this must have been this like precipice here where I do remember a time where gas was like $4
Yeah.
a gallon. Right? I think as I'm here today, it was about $2.25, $2.50 right now.
$2.40.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
We're on our way back up to you guys
Well,
better.
I think electric cars are becoming more prevalent. So I think gas is going to get higher, but at the same time, the fuel economy, things will even out. Everyone will get their money still. All right.
All right.
Anyway, what's the most you ever paid for gas?
Well, I can tell you what I paid for gas the first time I ever got gas in my car.
Okay.
I was 99 cents.
Okay.
And the most I ever paid was probably like that one day was probably like $7.50 or $8.
Jesus. The cheapest I remember paying for gas was 79 cents, and it was cheaper that summer. It was cheaper to drink gas than water, so we did.
Oh, nice.
What's the cheapest you remember gas being while you were a motorist, Steph?
Motorist.
Like a little over $1, probably.
Yeah,
$1.12, like $1.12.
the good old days.
Like $1.05, maybe.
Okay.
$1.05.
Like, I don't know. I just never pay attention. I'm like, I gotta get it.
Because you're so rich that you just don't
Exactly.
pay attention.
I
I
just-
hear you.
I wish I had those problems.
I just like sometimes I'll just pump it into
Just spray it?
nothing. Yeah.
Go right into the garbage can.
Yeah, exactly.
Fill her up.
You just wave other cars to come over,
Right.
and you just like, I did my good deed for the day.
Exactly. My Christian service.
Ex-soldier John Muhammad is found guilty of one of a series of sniper shootings that terrorized Washington, D.C. You remember that guy?
This was a really good year.
This is a great year. Terrible gas prices. Surprise prices.
There was torture of
Yeah.
tsunami prisoners.
Do you remember that guy, though? He was like, it was like him and his son or something.
Was he in the trunk?
Someone was in the trunk.
Yeah.
They popped the lock out.
Yeah, and they were shooting
They
through
popped
the
it
lock.
and locked it.
Right.
And then they stuck the gun through there, and they would just shoot people at gas stations and shit.
Oh,
I
I do
remember that.
remember that. Didn't it take a while to get them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I I think people did not take advantage of that properly because you could scare kids into like cleaning their rooms by saying this guy will get you. You know?
Well, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe not. But that's like an incredible story, though, right?
Right. And what was the purpose of it too? What was his? Do we ever find out why? Like it was just random shoot 'em ups.
Crazy guy.
Yeah.
Just trying to get to the next level of Black Ops.
He's an ex-soldier, so he's probably trying to. What is that called? When you is that a legacy or something? When you I don't know. When you reach the highest thing and start over.
Fuck that guy.
I don't. Yeah, fuck that guy right in his ear. Steph, do you know why we chose to watch the Jessica and Garbage Variety Hour?
Was it because it was only one episode that didn't go to series?
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Was it because you could find it on the internet?
That's another part.
2 for 2.
Oh, gosh. Was it because it was free?
Yes, very
good job.
Oh,
my
great job, guys.
You know what? You're well on your way to
Was
taking over my.
Jessica, what's her name?
Simpson?
Simpson has big breasts.
Actually, that's funny you say that. I didn't even notice that at all throughout the show.
She didn't really wear anything low cut that we would see those boobs, did
Right.
she?
Yeah.
In the beginning. We'll get there.
They were, as far as I'm concerned, it should be called the Nick and Big Ass Titty Variety Hour.
Yeah.
So where can you watch the Big Ass Titty Variety Hour? You can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or you can go to YouTube. And Stephanie?
You know what to do, too.
Oh, boy. Remember when my brother said, and that's what you do, too.
That was cute.
He's adorable. I listen to your show every week. Busted. Summary of the pilot. America's favorite young married couple, Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson, multi-platinum artists known from their hit TV series Newlyweds, star in their first ever television special, featuring a fun-filled variety hour of music and comedy.
That's a good summary.
I agree.
I mean,
good summary.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty flattering, but it's pretty accurate summary.
This I often like to take some of the things we talk about on the show and kind of reflect them off of myself and my own personal experience in life. And right now, I'm doing some dating here and there,
Nice.
and you always want to present the best version of yourself when you're dating, right?
For sure.
So I think that's what we're doing with the summary here. The summary is saying, you know what? I know I've kind of got a little bit of a turd here, but we're going to maybe slap a fresh coat of paint on it and push it out to the front and say this is the best version of this turd.
That's how I've convinced all 3 of my wives to marry me.
And 100 others to lay with you.
Hundreds.
100? What?
No, just 100. Over 100, but... You know what?
What?
That's happened before.
Jeez. I don't know what
Sorry,
that means
Steph.
exactly.
It's okay.
Interesting facts.
Interesting Facts is it's just the name of a segment. I mean, you have to...
Gotta name 'em.
You got to name them. But Jason's going to pull back the curtain and kind of give you some facts that you may not know about this pilot.
And not you, Steph. Like,
We know you know.
everybody.
We know,
We're gonna give them to
not-
everybody. I'm not going to whisper
I'm
them
not
to
just
you.
talking to you, Steph. We're going through the interwebs, so it's not just you. I'm not pointing my finger at you. But it's not your place to say if they're interesting or not. You're not supposed to quantify these facts.
No.
You're supposed to take them at face value, absorb them, and just accept them. So if you're laying next to your lover, like Jeb,
soap man.
The soap man, him and his wife do, they lay together and they listen.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are better turning them because that's interesting.
Do you think they're like
Naked?
going to sleep? When they're in bed together listening?
They probably think it's a really good show because they've never listened to a whole one because they probably fall asleep right after interesting facts.
Okay.
Like, ooh, this banter was great.
Yeah. That always puts me to sleep. Okay, look closely, and you can see that Jessica's pole vaulting double is a man in a wig who not only looks nothing like her, but is roughly 100 pounds heavier than she is.
Right.
Fact.
I mean, it is what it is.
Release date, April 11th, 2004. So they said, you know what? 10 days pass, April Fool's Day, boom. And that's I'm just,
Okay.
but you think, like, that's not necessarily a place where you'd put crap TV, though, right?
No, it's not summertime really yet. It's still spring.
Yeah.
Right.
released or shown on ABC. So they had success from the Newlyweds show, right?
Right.
And ABC said, you know what, let's see if we can do something with this.
And the Newlyweds show was just when they were both pop stars.
Yeah.
They married each other, and so they had a show just following them around. It was kind of a reality show where, she didn't know what she thought tuna fish came from a dog's butt or something.
I don't know if that's right. Chicken of the sea, right?
She thought it was chicken.
She thought there were chickens that were in the sea. And
So
honestly, I don't know enough about aquatic life to dispute that.
Right. So then they had that show, and so you said ABC is saying, hey, let's Sunny. This is the 2004 version of Sunny in the Cher. Let's have a variety hour.
Yeah. Stars such early work from comedians such as John Benjamin and Laura Silverman.
Okay.
Interesting facts over.
Oh,
That's
it's
it.
over.
It's always upsetting to me when something that is not terribly old has such limited facts. I hate that. And I'm allowed to say such because interesting fact is over.
Yeah, you can hate whatever you want to hate. Haters gonna hate. You know what I mean?
I do, unfortunately, know what you mean. There are no Twitter responses. And we're going to do a commercial here. Do you need this?
Yeah, I do. Hold on.
And before we go to commercial, I do want to talk a little bit about the Newlyweds. Did you watch that show? Because I when I think about,
I was too old for it.
and I feel the same way. Like even though I was only 23, I wasn't into 98 Degrees.
Right.
I wasn't into Jessica Simpson, all that sugary pop garbage. But you were kind of at that age where obviously you're going to these metal shows. But would you secretly like some of this pop music?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And reality shows have been my jam since day one, and that was kind of like the birth of reality a little bit, kind of. So yeah, I did watch that.
Were you a fan of 98 Degrees? Because I know you're cold all the time.
I was a fan of.
Fuck you, man. It was
No, like you look at me like, you see that shit I just did? And I'm like, okay, you did it. You glanced at me after that joke.
but then you look so disappointed.
No,
I was more of a fan of the NSYNC Backstreet
Bye.
Boys more than 98 Degrees, but they were kind of,
I was a little older, but to me, it was like 98 Degrees was kind of like the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Like it had already it'd be like New Kids on the Block, then it went to NSYNC, and then it went to Backstreet Boys, and then
LFO.
By then it was By then it was over and
they
done
weren't.
with.
Yeah, they weren't really
They were
adding
right at
a
the
whole
end.
lot to
They were right
it.
at the end of the era.
They made their money, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Honestly, Nick Lachey is one of those people where it's like, how does he have a ton of money? Because if you think about his career, it's just like
he had to share his money with like 4 other guys. How is he that rich?
Well, yeah, and I guess maybe these shows helped, but I can't really think of much that he's done. I don't know
what he's done the past 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, you get a reality show, we'll be swimming in money.
Well, I don't think you make money from reality shows, do you? Isn't this just an opportunity to get your name out there so you can start branding yourself?
They make money on it.
Yeah, I think you make
some. You make money. They would not make themselves look as ridiculous as possible.
Okay, that's fair. Let's go ahead and hear. This is so exciting because this is the first time I've heard this. This is the first time I've heard the promo for B-Movie Breakdown, a new show right here on the FCF Network.
On every network, there's one podcast that adults whisper about and children are meant to avoid.
Oh my God.
It's the B-Movie Breakdown.
God.
A weekly podcast where we find the humor and enjoyment in awesomely bad films of the past and present. Home of the good, the bad, the what the fuck.
Whoa!
Each week's movie will be revealed on the prior episode, so you too can join in on the madness.
It's mad.
You can listen to us on our website, bnbpodcast.com, on iTunes, or any other podcast app you may have. Each episode drops every Wednesday right here on the FCF Network.
Wow, very, very good. Very exciting.
Local boys.
The F word. They're hardcore. They are hardcore. No, but we're very happy to have the B-Movie on FCF Network. Something different. Everything's a little bit different. Everybody does a little bit different things. So
we're growing by leaps and bounds. Very exciting.
We first birthed out. Let's try this
From our birthing canal.
And it was a huge success.
Right.
And then we got to Middle Hand of God.
Dangerous podcast.
The most dangerous podcast on the interwebs.
Don't let your mom hear it.
That one came out into the real world. These shows didn't come out and start at FCF, but they came.
We gave them a home. We gave them a landing.
We gave them a
place, right?
place to live. Before FCF Network, these podcasts were just floating in the ethers.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
And now we have Hyper Uppercut.
Yeah.
And B Movie.
And it's just growing, and we're circling other podcasts too. So it's growing, and we're very excited. And
we have one podcast that said no to us.
The Swingers one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's all right. It's a good show.
That's why we have to up the sexual talk
Innuendos.
on this one. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, Steph like she's
Steph's
on board with that.
Steph's like, I was so glad that one said no.
No.
It's interesting.
Oh boy, let's break down this.
It's a good discussion to have.
What is Swingers?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting lifestyle.
Yeah, honestly, I like their podcast, and I'd like to hear some more of it. Yeah. But they don't want to be a part of the network. That's fine. Not for everybody. But you know what is, and also for everybody is this, because it's not for me. But let's talk about the Nick and Jessica Variety Hour. It opens as a big stage. There's a large live audience, and one of many times that the couple is in front of the audience and addresses them. And in the beginning, they say, "This is what you should expect."
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No songs and no dancing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they immediately lie to us.
They go into a Broadway version of saying that.
Yeah.
The audience is going nuts. They love everything that they're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are loud.
It's crazy. The audience cannot get enough of Nick and also Jessica.
What's ironic is this excitement and this loudness dwindles as the show goes on, in my opinion.
Okay. You think the audience gets a little fed up with it?
I think they got tired. I mean, they were going hard.
High octane the
Yeah.
whole time. They do like a chorus line, like a medley of musical types about what the show is about and what's going to be on it.
Big Broadway number, like the stage and the band and the lights come down that spell out Nick and Jessica. It's
like a circus theme at one
You're
point,
right.
and they do like a version of the Age of Aquarius. Now, is that from
Godspell?
Okay, I was thinking that or Jesus Christ Superstar, but it's definitely Godspell.
No, it's Jesus Christ Superstar, isn't it? I think
I get those two mixed up all the time.
I hashtag us.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that Broadway play?
Right.
And then she pole vaults.
That's when you see the pole vault.
Because she said there's going to be cooking and pole vaulting, but no singing.
Right.
But they mentioned the pole vaulting like 3 or 4 times. I
Did
think in the
they?
song.
To set it up, they want this to. They think this is so funny. They think this is so worth it that they're going to ram it down your throat at the beginning, the first 2 minutes of the show.
And then there's like some sort of cartoon intro with Nick and Jessica fumbling over the words coming out of the sky or something. I don't know. And then they say, hey, you know what? No music and dancing. That's exactly what they do. And then they say, we're going to do some comedy. There's going to be like some comedy sketches. What do you think about this, Steph?
About them talking about comedy?
Just their attempt at doing sketches.
It was interesting for sure. I mean, the Jessica thinks that she can act and thinks that she can be a comedian, but it's just
she's funny in her own head. Like she's funny in her own head.
She's cracking up constantly.
And I don't mean to break it, but we have to talk about the guests that are going to be on.
Oh, sure.
Babyface.
Oh, you talking about in the intro when they name the guests? Okay.
Jewel. Mm-hmm. Johnny Bench and good old Mr. T.
Yeah. Yeah.
A star-studded lineup in 2004.
Yeah.
And Kenny Rogers and the Muppets.
Forgot about Kenny Rogers and the Muppets.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, hey, if we get Kenny Rogers on this show, I would book him in a second.
Oh, absolutely. So the first one is Chet Chandler, P.I., and it's like a 1940s kind of detective noir kind of situation, and it's Nick's at his desk, and he's like, "Who's at the door?" And I will have to say, I'm not usually into big boobs and blondes. I'm not being ironic at all. I'm usually not, Blake. I think you can attest to this.
Sure.
But
I've seen plenty of flat-chested women you've been with.
Thank you. This is Jessica Simpson, probably at her absolute hottest, right? This is when she peaks out sexually, and she's just the most attractive she will ever be.
Right.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Okay. And so she comes in with this dress, and of course she's her boobs really should be top billed on this show, right? They should be number 1 and 2 essentially on the call sheet, right? Because
they she comes out the first outfit she had on when they were doing the first intro number. It was one of those middle low cut things where it goes down, goes down to a V all the way down to her belly button, and they don't look that big. They look round, but they don't look that big.
Steph, what's bigger? What's better, big or round?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm the best person to ask, to be honest with you.
Tell me who the best person is.
Kevin.
Let's get him on the phone again.
I don't like when they're too round. Like, they look fake when they're really round. You know,
Yeah.
like they're just like
Well, I'm
sitting
sure
there.
these breasts are fake that she has.
You think so? I'm not sure about hers.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. That would have been something interesting. Facts
Yeah,
would have been
I know.
Her breast augmentation? Sorry, guys. I usually steer clear of that kind of stuff. But she starts in with like a narration because it's a lot of times there was that really smooth noir narration in those movies.
Right.
So Nick's talking out loud a little bit, and then he's got internal monologue.
that we can hear.
And then she comes in, and they have a conversation. And then when she goes to do her internal monologue, she says it out loud.
And that's the joke. That's the joke of this.
Right.
And I honestly don't think it's bad. I think it's funny, and it's good because she is stupid, right?
Right.
She's a
Yeah.
stupid girl.
And they're always playing into how stupid she is.
And I think that's
Right.
good. They're playing into her characteristics, her quote unquote
Now,
strengths.
I wonder, was that the same thing with Sonny and Cher? Was Cher always the butt of the jokes on that? I'm wondering.
I don't know that.
I mean, I can see
don't
at that time
know.
because Sonny was still beating on her back then. So I'm sure that he probably,
Are
you know,
you sure she was a lot? She was like a foot taller than him.
but he used to beat her all the time.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
R.I.P. Sonny.
Interesting facts. Yeah, should have been
That's what I was
skiing.
thinking.
You're thinking interesting facts. I think this is funny though because you do have good people on the show. Like, did you recognize John Benjamin?
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Do you know John Benjamin? He does the voice for Bob from Bob's Burgers and Archer in Archer.
Sorry, no.
Okay. Well, he's
Very young.
He's young and thin and known for his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a writer on this. He appeared in the Nick Lachey. He was the guy who was being Lacheyed in that sketch. But I think there are some talented writers, including like Laura Silverman on this. But
He was in Not Another Teen.
oh yeah, he's the janitor. Right?
Yeah, he was the janitor.
The really horny janitor or something. But I think this sketch and probably some of the other stuff that had potential. They may have not had the best actors in it.
That's to me. That's what it was.
But they did try to play into how stupid she was, which is a good move, I would
Right.
say. But how far is it really going to
It's what you do with what you got that does the best. That's what my grandpa used to say.
God bless. R.I.P.
Got a stupid blonde with big boobs. You got to go with it. And yeah, so she was supposed to do the internal talk. Well, it ended up he was like trying to explain to her how to do it. And
So they
then
keep like restarting the scene.
restarting.
over.
That was the part I was like,
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't restart the scene. And then the next time she came in, her internal monologue was Mr. T. Then they started it over again. Then Mr. T came in dressed
Actual
as her,
Mr. T, yeah.
and then it was her voice that was in her monologue. So
Yeah, so
Right.
that it was kind of funny. I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thoughts, Steph? Did you like that one?
Yes and no. So when I don't know, for some reason it reminded me of Full House when like the joke style. Like it was just very like childish joking. You know what I mean?
So like formulaic sitcom jokes.
Yeah, like when he was explaining to her like, "No, Jess, like you have to talk inside your head." It just reminded me of Full House for some reason, like just I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it just seemed so childish when they kept like repeating the skit over again. I was like, "Oh god, how many
Right.
times is this
they probably
gonna
could have.
happen?"
They probably could have had that joke and did that joke without restarting from,
That's what I was
from the first
thinking.
line over again.
Yeah, probably so.
Tighten it up. Tighten it up.
So it goes to commercial. They come back, and Jessica's on the stage by herself as she introduces Jewel, who that was about. I think I looked up that album. Pieces of You was her huge album that had this song, and it was from 1995. So we're about 10 years removed from that massive hit, but she plays it. And super respect to Jewel for even to this day not fixing her teeth.
I
Oh,
know.
That one is
respect
sharp
her.
and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. I never liked Jessica's music, but I can't watch her sing. First of all, Jewel, she has a very interesting way of singing, a very unique way of
Absolutely.
singing, and Jessica tries to copy it.
Yes.
And to me, that you're insulting Jewel by trying to copy her, and then watching her do it is so obnoxious.
A lot of hand movements.
It was
a lot
painful.
of, lot of facial stuff. Like
Yeah.
she's really, over exaggerating her face. And I find that was all throughout. Every time she sang, I don't really remember her singing like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure in the videos when she was lip syncing, she wouldn't have to do that. But this girl is really overly animated. And if I was Jewel, I really felt like Jewel was just like, I'm getting a check.
Sure.
I just got to get through this song because this girl right here next to me is butchering my song.
But this is the first musical performance that we really get to see.
It was the whole song.
Yeah, it was the entire song.
Right.
So they are doing whole songs and then sketches. This is the variety aspect of the show. Thoughts on that performance, Steph?
Well, for one, I was thinking to myself, who has the worst nose? Because they both have pretty...
Nose?
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
both
okay.
have pretty bad noses.
And what did you come up with?
Honestly, I think it's Jessica, and maybe it's because of those facial expressions.
I think so too. It exaggerates her
Yeah.
nose.
And despite all that, I still think Jewel is adorable
Yeah.
Yeah, in her own way.
in her own way. Then there's a cartoon.
What was that? Didn't she have that song, Let's Go Back to Sleep? I think it was on that same album.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Go. Oh, yeah, that's good.
She had that song later, like because she came out with that album and Pieces of You, and it seemed like she's strumming a guitar. It's a folky kind of thing. And then later she had that song like 10 years later called like Intuition. You remember that song where it's like it's really poppy and almost electro kind of. No, maybe
I'd have to hear it.
maybe Google that one.
I think a lot of people do that. That folky thing only lasts you for so long, and you have to
Stay relevant, I guess. But after that, you get a cartoon segue, and then you get Nick in front of the audience, and he's like, "Hey, Jessica, my wife just did a duet. Now I'm gonna do a duet."
Ugh.
My heart sank
Why is that?
because that first duet was horrendous to watch.
He does it with Kit from Knight Rider. Do you remember that show?
Well, I've seen like reruns of it. I mean, just like basically, I think it came on after a show that I liked, so I'd see like the intro of it, but then I didn't watch
You're like,
it.
this is dumb.
Yeah, I'm
This is
like,
a guy
eh.
talking to a car. David Hasselhoff of all people, right?
And it was not even the real Kit voice.
It was not.
That's what I was just like,
Okay.
this is bogus.
Yeah, the real Kit voice is like an older British man, wasn't it?
Right.
And this is probably just some dumb writer they had in the back that they got to do it. But anyway, so he chats with him for a minute, and then they sing Just the Two of Us.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
It was supposed to be funny because is this the Intuition song?
No, this is the Let's Go Back to Sleep. It's called Morning Song.
And you like this?
I love it.
Where does this take you? I see you closing your eyes and kind of bounce on. Where are you right now?
I can't tell you Stephanie's here. It's really inappropriate.
Then I know exactly where you are.
Basically, the song is, I'll tell you the song in a nutshell is she's like, let's go back. Let's not go to work today. Let's just go back and get in bed and
And do what then?
play guitar.
Prenzel?
Fuck you.
Oh, jeez. Good Lord, man. If I can't say Prenzel to you, then who can I say it to?
Nobody else knows what it means.
Tyler does. I don't know. Is this funny? Is the
No.
part where the robot's trying to sing, but he sings like a robot? Is that
I actually thought it was kind of funny. At first, I was like, "No, please don't do this." But then,
So
like,
you knew where it was going.
yeah,
Okay.
but then the monotone like came in, and I actually did chuckle once, maybe.
And then Jessica comes out and is
Right.
like, "You're stupid for singing with a car."
And
Yeah,
I'm
see,
like,
I didn't allow
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Why is she being a total bitch?
I don't know because her duet was not good, and
Oh, it
Nick
was
didn't say
awful.
anything about that.
Right. Nick didn't come out in the middle of it and go, "Jewel, go ahead, keep singing. I'm going to take Blondie over back up in the back and tell her she did a bad job."
Right?
And she's wearing an Avril Lavigne tie too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah.
Sign of the
And
times.
she gets
It
so mad.
looked like she was wearing a wig too. Her
Oh,
hair
really?
looked weird.
She wears lots of wigs in
Yeah.
this. And also, it makes Kit cry because she's so mean. It made Kit cry.
He's crying fan belt fluid, which
Yeah.
is not a thing.
Yeah.
That was funny. I thought it was funny.
I didn't think
got
I
it.
knew anything about cars, but as soon as he said that, it's like I don't think that's real.
Right, and then Nick goes,
That's
"That's
not
not a
real."
real thing."
And then you have Jessica back on stage talking about how she tried out for the Mickey Mouse Club and then she didn't get it. And so she kind of like recreates this so she can almost like heal her emotional torment from the past or something. And you got young Jessica or young Christina Aguilera, young Justin Timberlake,
And Britney
young,
Spears.
Yeah, they're all there represented. And I don't know, she's kind of like takes the spotlight from them.
Right, but this whole bit is I guess it's her way of saying, "Oh, I'm okay with it. I didn't need it. Yeah, I'm okay with it. See, I can make a joke about it." When in actuality, the undertone of that is, I wasn't very successful because these other three are 10 times more successful because
Right.
they were.
Yeah.
And back then, when when Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears were on Mickey Mouse Club, they were having sex.
No, they were not.
Eminem has the recording.
What does that mean? Eminem? What? How does Eminem play?
Eminem. There's a recording. There's a recording of them.
Weren't they like 13?
No, they were a little older than 13,
Okay,
but they were
thank
having
God.
sex.
Oh, hold on. What?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
It's the truth.
Well, what does Eminem have?
There was
recording.
Eminem, no,
Like a recording of what?
no. Eminem talks about. There's
okay.
audio. There's audio out there of Justin and Brittany having sex while they were on the set of the Mickey Mouse Club.
There's audio of that.
Yes.
So it's not like they were talking about when they did
no,
it.
there was audio of them
act.
having sex.
Oh my God, I've never heard. Have you heard that before, Steph?
Never heard that before.
And Blake, have you heard the actual audio from it?
No.
He has, apparently. It exists, and
I feel like it could be recreated.
You want to recreate that right now, Blake?
No, I just mean like, how could
No,
you?
you asked for it. You asked for it. Here it comes.
No. Instead,
How can you prove the authenticity?
You're absolutely right.
She asked for it, and then when you said let's recreate it, before you said let's recreate it, she said no.
She was almost halfway out the door. I think you're right though. Like someone could totally just make noises into a recording. All right.
Eminem has it of all people. He definitely wasn't part of the Mickey Mouse Club. He wanted it though.
We're not. Hey, what?
It's all good. It's all good.
I don't want to shatter your world.
No,
Of
it's all right.
course, it was two 15-year-olds fucking. Okay,
Of course
it was.
they were.
The next thing you got is a Western bar sketch. And I thought this one was kind of funny.
Yeah, I like
There
this
are
one.
funny ideas here. Whether or not they were properly executed is to be determined. But can you walk us through this one?
I have a confession.
Oh, please.
I'm realizing that I must not have clicked the classically blue link
Uh-oh.
because my video did not have all of this.
Uh-oh. So what's the thing that you have?
My last skit was Kit.
Oh, no.
my- What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my! You are in for a treat.
Okay, so I'll walk us through this.
It's the one I sent to you.
Yeah. I didn't want to watch it on my phone. I'm sorry.
Nick walks into a bar and he's dressed as a cowboy, and he wants a drink. And he goes up to the bar, and some other guy is there, some old prospector or something. He says, "Hey, you got to behave at this bar. The girl over there, she runs it, and she's smoking hot, and you can't say or think anything negative because she has ESP." So she comes up to the bar. What you got?
And on this one, her boobs are as stacked as they're going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, the corset and everything.
They're touching her chin, practically.
They're touching her chin.
Yeah.
I feel like, is this a play on the ESPN or did she say that? I thought she did.
She may have said that, but that didn't come up during the sketch.
Okay.
It was basically everyone in the bar better have pure thoughts, even though she's fully on display,
Okay.
Right.
or else she will get mad and punish you in some manner.
Not serve you a drink. And of course, she turns around and Nick sees her and is like, boobs,
Yeah.
and she hits him over the head with a bottle. And it's one of those, movie bottles that when you hit
Like
somebody
a
over,
sugar glass or something.
yeah,
right?
you're supposed to hit him over the head and it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
She hits him 3 times before it breaks. But every time she hits him, it makes the sound, but the bottle doesn't actually
Yeah.
shatter.
Oh, so it's supposed to be funny.
Well, he keeps like saying things,
Sure.
and she keeps bashing him, and then at the end,
He rips off his shirt.
yeah, because like I think he realizes he's gonna have a thought, and he hits himself in the head. It was just kind of funny, and he's like, I got whiskey all over me, so he takes his shirt off, and as in prime and milk boning as Jessica Simpson is, so is Nick Lachey at this point,
Right.
clean, like completely hairless. I can see every muscle, like he was sculpted from marble, and the whole place goes nuts. It's a bunch of dudes sitting there, but then all the people in the place, they all take their bottles and hit themselves over the heads. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
Because gay stuff is funny in 2004, right?
Right.
So, and then they said, here's 10 awkward seconds with Mr. T.
And it's just Mr. T staring at the camera.
That's all it is.
No words, no nothing.
Can't believe you missed that, Steph.
Steph, look at this.
I can't
You
believe I
still
did
missed all
either.
this stuff.
Nick and Jessica go on stage, and they're doing, like, impressions.
Oh, yeah, they're going to do impressions, and they're going to take turns doing impressions. Go ahead.
And then, well, she did a crappy George W. Bush.
He
She's
did,
like,
and then he did a Timberlake,
yeah.
and then she went in backstage, came out as Dolly Parton.
And then Nick's like, I'm going to go do an impression. I got to get ready for Kenny Rogers. And then Kenny Rogers himself comes out, and they do a song together.
Islands in the stream.
Yeah.
That's a good
That
one.
is what we are. That part was good.
I loved it when 75-year-old Kenny Rogers was singing to a 24-year-old Jessica Simpson about making love with each other.
On an island.
Yeah.
Loved it. Kenny Rogers, love the guy. R.I.P. Nick and Jessica, then they sing "It Takes Two, Baby," interrupted by the Muppets, Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. What ends up happening is they find out that Miss Piggy and Kermit are taping their variety show on the same stage. It got double booked.
Yep.
How do you fix that? Miss Piggy and Kermit tell them to get the hell out of there.
Yep. I always love the Muppets. I don't care where you
can't
stick
go wrong.
them.
You can't go wrong.
Whenever they pop in, it's great.
And for me, Miss Piggy is the only woman I would take lip like that from. You know what I mean? Like if like a real woman talked to me like that.
And why from Miss Piggy? She's just foam.
I know. But she's so cute.
Oh, so you're attracted to Miss Piggy?
No, I'm not. It's a cute concept, right?
Miss Piggy is the kind of bitch that I need in my life.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm not
Thank
saying
you.
it as a derogatory for all women. I'm just saying Miss Piggy is a bitch, right?
Then they go and they sing. Oh, and then the Miss Piggy and Kermit start singing "Don't Go Breaking My Heart," and I was just like, "Oh, that's adorable."
You got a commercial break. You come back, and you got a tiny young John Benjamin here, and Nick Lachey. It's called Nick Lachey, which is just a stupid play.
Right,
The
and
whole
to me,
sketch is
like
just a play on his
Nick
name.
Lachey from formerly of 98 Degrees. I was like, it's the Nick. Should we have to say that where he's
Right.
from?
This is his show, after all.
But if you're watching this, you know who he is and where he's from.
Probably so. Maybe that was just built into the commercial or something. Like,
What was their big song? Do you anybody know? 98 Degrees.
Crap.
big
I
song?
can think of like the video,
It's
but
like, damn, it's hot in here, or something like that.
no.
That's I think that's Nelly.
Oh, okay.
I could not name a 98 Degrees
Let me
song.
do a search.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, the next bit is Nick Lachey is from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Loves baseball, and who comes out? Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
And he comes out and they give him some hitting practice, and so he
This is delightful. What is?
they're on the stage.
Wow.
He throws a ball up. He throws a ball up in the air. Then he hits it, and then it cuts to the ball going into the crowd and hitting people. And she's like, "Let me see it again." And Johnny Bench does it again. So then Jessica Simpson.
Why are you so smitten with this?
They're just,
Jessica Simpson comes and she's like, "Well, let me take a try. I got it." And she, of course, throws the ball up and she swings and the bat goes out of her hand and like the whole row of people, like it goes into people. And she's like, "Oh no," and she's like, "That's the only bat we have." And Johnny Bench goes, "Don't worry." He goes, he brings out.
What is going on?
get him an asthma
Yeah.
inhaler.
He brings out a wheelbarrow full of bats. But
This is your kind of humor. Retired baseball greats pummeling people about the face and chest with bats and balls.
But it was so unexpected. I really didn't expect that he swings and hits it. I'm like, that's a good hit. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And then they switch and just beaming people in the crowd. I loved it.
Wow.
Oh wow! You're not done. This makes me so happy to see you this
Right.
way. Oh mercy!
Just as wheezy as ever.
I would say that it was funny too. There was some funny parts, right? You obviously are
loved
ready to
it.
have a heart attack. You liked it so much.
Sorry.
Good. And then this is a weird segment of the show.
Oh yeah.
You've got some dancers in sequence. You've got Jessica singing. She works hard for her money.
So hard for it, honey.
That's right. And you better treat it right. So she sings the chorus like 3 times. And at the end of each chorus, it sounds like the song is summed up. And then they cut to like a one-liner joke where they have like props and costumes all set up for these jokes. Kind of like a hee-haw or a laugh-in where they would just cut to
And I think that's
shitty
what they were
jokes.
trying to do. They were taking a little snippet of that.
Yeah, inspiration, an homage perhaps. And then they go to a courtroom, like a 1970s kind of joke, because her hair looked like Farrah Fawcett and all this stuff. I don't remember what the joke was.
Something about ordering food, probably, right?
There was one that was like that, yeah. And then there was like a joke about Mr. Paddywhack give the dog a loan.
Yeah, it was a bank one. And he was Nick Lachey was dressed up as a dog.
And in between all these, she sings that, works hard for her money. So I don't know if this is like, I don't get it really. Is this is a woman in a workplace doing one-liners in different jobs?
I guess that's could be that's as close as I can come up with.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the
how they
tie-in
would. That's
is.
the only way you can tie them together.
And then there's the one where she's the president, and Nick's like, "Hey, talks have broke down with Chinese." The Chinese like, "Well, why don't you order some Italian?" And then it's always looking at the camera like, "Dang!" And I was like, "Come on, this is fucking awful."
They weren't. They wasn't good. Then Nick, he shows his pipes off in his duet with Babyface.
Yeah.
The song "For Once in My Life." I don't know any Babyface songs.
Me neither.
But to me, this was 10 times better than the song with Jewel. It was 10 times better. I mean, it's two guys singing about love, which is fine. But at least they weren't like. Nick Lachey.
He wasn't trying to like mimic his
wasn't-
style or
yeah,
something.
he wasn't overdoing it. Like, he's a pretty good singer,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have to overdo it. Where she's just like,
I find that a lot from girls about that time. It was a lot of like, here's the end of the line, and then it trails off,
Yep.
and then before the next line starts, I'm going to give you.
that was Britney. That started with
Yeah.
Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
You got it right. You got it. No, go say it.
Aguilera.
There it is. And then after that, you got a commercial, and then Jessica takes to the stage to sing "Take My Breath Away."
Because she's like, I want to dedicate this to Nick because this is the first song we ever kissed to, and I'm like, at what kind of situation are you going to be listening to "Take My Breath Away"?
Older song, right? 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At the local lovers lane.
There you go.
This is B91. We're
That's-
going back to the 80s for all
That's
you lovers out there.
appropriate for her though, because when she was singing with Jewel, like it seemed like her breath was being taken. She was like,
It was a little rough.
I wish I would have had a video. That was perfect. That's exactly how she did it.
Then they got another commercial break, and then Nick and Jessica kind of show off photos when they were little. They have like a little slide projector and a screen out there, and it's Nick when he was really young and just cute and precocious. And then they go to pictures of Jessica, and she's showing off like all these super sexy professional photos, but she's playing it off as like, oh, this was happening. This was like,
It's like, oh, the wind was so bad this day. It was a picture of her like this, and she's like, and this is one where I got my thumb stuck in my belt loops because she had had that pose where she got
so
it.
she was like a teenager at least in these.
No,
or-
these were adult.
within the past
Okay.
like year or two,
Right.
and all your spreads from magazines and stuff. It segues right into the final thing of the night, which is "I Got You, Babe," and
course.
that's all I'm thinking. The entire show is this is again like an homage to something like the Sonny and Cher show, or the Brady Bunch had a variety hour at one point, and even as recently like Maya Rudolph and Martin Short had a variety show a couple summers ago. So it still lingers.
They
out
still
there.
try it. They
Yeah.
still try it out.
And they sing "I Got You, Babe," and it was weird. They had like this.
They had to have sang that. That was the only song you could finish that show off with.
And they had like a weird black and white like cartoon drawing of them on either side of the stage. Did you see this?
Huh.
Very bizarre. Like it's like no need for that. And that's the end. That was the end. And that was a lot.
That was a lot. Well, not for Stephanie because she.
No, I was thinking it was pretty short.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
They always say this is a special. This is a TV special. Bullshit. This is a way for you to gauge interest in whether or not this will be a series. I call bullshit.
They're big time.
Why did this show work? From the little that you saw, and God bless you for sticking with it as long as you did.
Why a lot of notes for just seeing a third of it.
Why didn't it work?
I can't speak for Nick as much, but Jessica isn't well-rounded enough to pull off a variety show. I really don't know how she got by with her singing because it is very strained. So I mean, she did make a pretty good singing career, but as far as her acting and just, sometimes it's comical, but it's just, she's not well-rounded enough to pull off, the acting and the comedy.
Yeah.
She was in Dukes of Hazzard, right?
Yes.
And Employee of the Month. I think those are the only two movies I know that she was in. Oh, I think she was in some like really awful like army movie too, wasn't she?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Blake, how would you improve this show?
Well, the reason why I didn't. Well, what you're spot on. Jessica could not hold up her end of this show. But second of all, this was expensive.
Oh, yeah.
This show was going to be expensive.
Yep.
And these, there's a lot of stuff that you're taping, but there's also a lot of it with all the musical acts and everything that's going to have a studio audience, and you're doing all these wardrobe changes and everything. But this is like a Broadway production on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Way too expensive. And Jessica couldn't hold up her side of it. Nick could, but couldn't. To be honest with you, his acting is not that good either. But
Right.
but he was doing all he could.
I think so. Yeah, I think there was a huge budget for this thing. There's so many big names, all these sets and everything. It adds up. If it
was like watching the CMA Awards. Is kind of what it was like.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was that big of a stage. It wasn't just like, oh, here's a decent sized stage. No, it was not like Johnny Carson's stage. It was like a CMA Award stage.
Yeah, if this had survived, I think you're right. The acting hurt here. That you would really have. I think they had good people writing, but maybe they just needed kind of like a team of actors that were regulars on the show that would help buffer the stars, the people who had the name power. Right. But they never had that opportunity.
Yeah.
It didn't work out, and that's fine. That's why we're talking
When did
about
they get divorced? Does anybody know?
Probably pretty shortly after that. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Could
to
that be part
honest
of why
with
it
you.
didn't go either? Maybe they were already on the outs because they don't look like they're in love.
Yeah,
really didn't look
it
like they
makes
were
you
above.
wonder.
When I see two good-looking people together, I just assume everything's fine. So I didn't even gauge whether or not they were in love. I just like,
Plus, she's like too stupid to like hold an argument, right? What is she gonna fight about?
Chicken of the sea.
well, did she ever really lose that argument though? Has it ever been disproven that chickens aren't in the sea as well? Something to think about.
Yeah.
I'll give you something to think about.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Oh boy, IMDb score. There's a score for this there. Thank God. Steph, 1 to 10, and there are decimal points in play here. Where do you think this landed on the IMDb score?
Well, first of all, I'm offended, Jason, because I know that there's decimal points because I listen to the show.
That's fair. That's
High
fair.
five it. High five it.
Which,
She said, what?
We have multiple ratings here, so I'm sorry. I did want to
I'm
clarify.
sorry,
it.
Jason.
That's fine. I deserve that.
Who do you think she is? Jessica Simpson?
I'm just gonna throw out a 3.5.
Okay.
6.5.
6.5. It's 2.9,
Wow.
which is easily one of the lowest rated ones we've ever done, and
Wow.
that's from a 178 ratings.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's a lot of ratings.
that is quite a bit. Critic reviews. ABC sucks. If we desire at least a brief moment of self-respect on our journey into the toilet, can we use this variety special as a pretext for assassination? Good Lord.
Wow.
Can we send out a few vibes to the remaining members of the Manson family, informing them that Helter Skelter left out a few casualties? Holy God. No one on earth is less deserving of wealth and happiness than Nick and Jessica, and at this point, I'd even settle for paralysis or disfigurement to keep them away from the cameras.
Holy cow.
This man is on a mission.
Was this one guy? Oh, I just thought it was a bunch of neo-Nazi skinheads that are just...
Yeah, you don't want to go to the sites I go to, my friend. They have hurt and maimed us before, but nothing could have prepared any of us for this shit. No second chances, no apologies, and no more vacations from the limelight. Only a permanent solution will suffice, and I'll leave the details to you. Is Robert Bardo available? I don't understand that reference.
I don't know.
Boy, that person really taking them to task, I would say. Taking them behind the woodshed, right, as JR would say. Viewer reviews. Oh, my dear God. Words cannot express this horrid display of quote-unquote talent. I actually sort of like their show Newlyweds. They are just annoying enough to be cute, but this variety show is truly pathetic. It goes on. I will not. Here, this is funny. Jessica Simpson's ridiculous, dramatic body gyrations while singing with Jewel may have been the only funny thing about this variety hour. Please spare yourself the agony of watching it unless you want to laugh at them and not with them. Well, you guys really called it on that, Jewel. I didn't pay enough attention.
it was
I think.
horrible.
You guys nailed it.
Fun fact, they got divorced on June 30th of 2006. So
That is fun.
they were on
A
their
couple years later.
they were on their way. Well, you figure as rich as they are, it takes about a year to sort through everything. So
True.
It probably started at the end. As soon as the curtains went down in the variety show, there's like, I want a divorce. This obviously is not working on multiple levels.
Nick's like, I can't hold you up anymore. Your boobs are not worth it in the long run. You are an idiot.
They're touching your chin now. They're going to be touching your knees in about 15, 20 years. So, a painful 43-minute laugh at Nick and Jessica's expense. That's 3 out of 10 scars on that one. Let's see what he says here. Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey are best known for their TV show Newlyweds. Nick and Jessica, whatever the merits of that program may be, I've never seen it. Don't waste your time on this claptrap unless you want to have a 43-minute laugh at Jessica and Nick's expense. Nick and Jessica, new American prom king and queen. For real? Gee, man, this is awful. These self-obsessed, obscene excuses for human beings made a 60s-style song and dance variety hour with skits and stars like, well, we know what the stars are. Now we are a few moments in this episode that transcended the ridiculously awful and became sublimely entertaining. These moments are as follows. Number 1, the duet with Jewel and Jessica singing Who Will Save Your Soul. Nick Lachey and Kit talking to Knight Rider. Nick, my name is Nick Lachey and I want to shave you, the Nick Lachey. And finally, the only acceptable, truly enjoyable 10 seconds of the show came from 10 uncomfortable seconds with Mr. T. May God have mercy on our souls.
Johnny Bench was funny.
And finally, good entertainment, and that's a 7 out of 10 scars. Despite my apprehensions before watching this show for the first time, I was pleasantly surprised. Nick and Jessica work well as a team, and the show is really what it says it is, variety. One show I watched had everything from the Muppets to Kenny Rogers to Mr. T with many musical numbers and comedy sketches as well as some bloopers and outtakes. I know a lot of people would like to dismiss Jessica as a bimbo, and after watching several episodes of Newlyweds, I can sort of see why. However, I think she is smarter than she gets credit for, and her comedic timing and talent are undeniable.
They're very deniable. I will do it some more if you'd like me to.
If you don't like her singing, wait around for a minute, and you'll get to see comedy and mindless jokes. There is something for everyone. I plan on watching it again. So that person
has a lot of extra time.
Loves drugs, probably.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
I've never been a drug guy. I don't love drugs. But you know what I do love? Ratings.
Ratings. Steph, this is the way. This is the point of the show where you can go ahead and get all this stuff out of your carry-on. You know, the you get your purse together,
your overhead compartment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, get all this stuff out. You know, and put your pillow away. It's finally over. You don't have to do this anymore. But we need a rating from you.
Yeah.
You didn't spend 12 minutes watching this pilot.
Not to rate it.
Not to rate it. I know that you know that Jason knows that Wings was one of the greatest television shows ever.
Yeah.
And we base our rating system off that.
That's exactly
1
right.
through 7. I don't know why these people do 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. It's 1 to 7. I mean, that's how you...
There's a lot of ratings out there, but they're all rubbish.
The rubbish. And I know that you know also from listening to the show, no decimal points in ours.
Right.
Will not be tolerated. Only one person has ever done that before, and we shot him.
Makes sense.
Sorry about your brother.
It's all right.
1 is the worst. Roy Biggins. Disgusting. Awful Roy Biggins. A 6, I know, is Helen Chapel.
Right.
I do believe that 3 is Antonio Scarpacci. A number 2 is a Faye Vayetin.
Faye Vayetin.
Yeah.
Cochran.
Anyway, all that really matters is number 1 and number 7.
Right.
Number 7 being Brian
Everything
Hackett.
falls in there somewhere, right?
Right.
All the pilots we do are between the
Right.
1 and 7.
Betwixt.
Sorry.
Brian Hackett, number 1.
Number 7.
Well, he's number 1,
He's the
but
best.
number 7.
Yeah,
Best.
yeah, yeah.
I did a horrible job. I was trying to give you the night off. You got stuff going on in your life. I was trying to give you the night off, and I did a horrible job.
No.
Steph, give us your rating.
Well, this is a tough one.
Because you didn't watch it all?
Exactly. There's more for me to see. It might have helped.
It might have helped.
And also there's some parts that I did watch that were truly hard to watch, but then there was also some times that I chuckled. So I'm just gonna go with the 3.
Okay. All right. 3 is below average,
Yes.
and it's understandable. Her song with Jewel was horrible and probably knocked it down. But there is a thing that we have, and you're a frequent flyer. You're a female. We can't expect. There is such thing as a boob bump.
Right.
All right. A buck.
What do you think the male or the female equivalent to that is? Like, what part of the male anatomy are you like? If this part shines, quote unquote, it will get a bump.
Like an ab bump, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
ABBA?
Are you an ABBA gal? Do you like ABBA?
The music or the abs?
No, the abs. Like Molly loves Finn
Dancing
Balor.
Queen.
Molly loves Finn Balor because of his abs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against good abs.
You don't hate good abs?
I will not condone these beautiful abs. All right. Thank you very much.
For sure.
I got to give it a boob bump because they are nice to look at.
Stars of the show.
I'm going to give it a 3 with the bump.
Oh, 3 with the bump.
So as a 2 with a bump is a 3.
Okay. 3's all around, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, this hardly ever happens.
It really doesn't. There are some funny things here. I could see this maybe going a couple episodes in the summer. If you just want to sprinkle it in the summer, 3 or 4 episodes over the course of one summer and be done with it, I would get that.
Could you cut it down to a half hour, do you think?
I think so.
Or is that not enough time?
I don't know. I really don't know. It really is not a lot of time. I think when did we watch that show Next? Remember that? That was terrible. And they did a half-hour sketch comedy, but it was so fast, and it was just junk.
Right.
I would say stick to an hour, maybe do 4 to 6 throughout the summer, and I could see it happening. But I did not really like it. But there were funny things here, so I would say 3.
Okay.
It's 3's all around.
3's around.
And with
3's
that-
a crowd.
3's company, as far as I'm concerned. And with that, we'll close the book on the Nick and Jessica Variety Hour, and we will never speak of that show again.
Ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Coming to America. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Based on the film of the same name, this pilot places Prince Tariq of Zambuda and his assistant Oha in the house of a family in Queens, New York. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or download the app for Daily Motion, and won't you please check out all of the commotion?
Nice.
Nice.
Steph,
Yes.
we'll go ahead and give you plug time now. Is that all right? Give it plug time now? Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and plug your show and your husband?
Sure. My husband is Kevin Clark. He's a great guy.
Great guy.
Our show is Let's Try This. It's also on the FCF Network. Just go on over to fcfnetwork.com or that's
Go to
it.
iTunes. Comes out on Thursdays.
It does every Thursday.
Sometimes it comes out like late on a Wednesday or something.
Sure,
if you,
Pops in there.
yeah, that's only for like VIPs.
Is that how I'm getting it?
Well, yeah, no, but you have to know that it comes
You're
out
on the
late.
list.
Okay.
You're on the list.
It's a good list, though. It's
That was
not
a good
bad-
callback.
To what?
Wrestling.
Okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
it's a good list. It's not a bad list.
Real quick, what is your most favorite thing about podcasting with your husband, and what's the least favorite thing about podcasting?
Remember
with
when they
your
put us on the
Yep.
they grilled us?
on the block?
Yeah. All right.
The best thing. I'll start with the worst thing.
The easier of the two to say.
The worst thing is keeping up with the schedule when we have our busy lives. It can be difficult. It's a big commitment. The best thing is just like sitting down, chatting one-on-one with my husband, getting things out there for the world to hear.
Do you feel like it forces you to kind of have a prolonged conversation?
I mean, it is a conversation away from your phones and stuff like that,
Yeah.
even if it's a different medium.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
What's the email address for Let's Try This? Because I know you guys get tons and tons of emails.
we do. It's crazy. It's let's try this podcast at gmail.com.
All right. Awesome.
Yes.
Check it out every Thursday on the FCF Network, iTunes, any of your podcast app of choice.
True.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the show. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It's fun.
How do people contact us, Jason?
My favorite is the dial-in number 910 Pilots 1.
Yes.
But I also
put it as a widget on your phone.
Yeah.
Take a picture of us.
Yeah.
Put a widget on your phone. 910 Pilots 1, which is coded to be
910-745-6871. Is a widget, is that just for Android phones?
I think so.
Okay, because I don't understand that language. I have iPhones.
A widget is like a little circle that you just have to press. Like
Just
those
like
are
an icon?
widgets.
Okay.
So you have a widget.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why it has Michigan State on
That's
it.
a long story. I'm not going to get into. I've never been to Michigan State in my life. But you can also go to couchpilotspodcast.com. All of our social media outlets are available there. Just a click of a button. All of our past shows, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to email us.
Instagram.
Did I say that right last time?
Let's try it.
All right.
Wait, hold on, stop. I want Stephanie to try it first before you
Let's
try
have her
it.
try this real quick.
All right, okay, here we go. Steph, this is how we say Instagram. Let's try this. Ready? Instagram. Try it.
Instagram.
Jason.
Instagram.
Okay,
Did I do it?
Let's all three do it at the same time.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Instagram.
Yeah. I don't even think we use Instagram that much.
I
We're
use-
really
I use it
promoting
all
the
the
hell out
time.
of it. Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I never see it. Sorry. I know you do a lot of work.
Do you have Instagram?
No, that's
Then you
probably-
can't see
that's
it.
probably why I don't see it.
You can't see it.
So many wrestling references.
Well, I'm trying to, make her feel at home.
There you go.
It's either that or yell at her the only way.
Or get Rory to throw up in the table down here. I think that's about it, right? FCFnetwork.com. All the shows are there. So many episodes, all free. What are we up to now, really? Like 7 or 8 different
shows.
8 shows on the network that are active.
Right.
Weekly, sometimes more than once a week. Mm-hmm. And it's just growing. It's just getting bigger and better, and you can be a part of it by simply going to the website, subscribing to the shows that you like, and listen. Support the shows. Retweet, tell a friend. It all helps us out.
Very
You're getting
much so.
frequent flyer points, right?
Yes, definitely. And obviously, if it wasn't for the frequent flyer program, Stephanie wouldn't be here right now.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Anything else you'd like to tell our frequent flyers today, Blake, before we go?
No.
No? Okay. You always say that, and then you follow it up with something. So when you say no, and then actually have nothing to say?
So I turn the joke around.
Yeah. No, it worked. I get it.
I turn the joke around.
Okay, when you do that, are you really doing that? Because sometimes you'll be like, I'm sorry, and then I think you force yourself to say that you're sorry a third time. Is it really an OCD thing?
I just think it's easier to do it that way.
Okay. Because some people I don't like, they don't want the volume on 23. It has to be 24 or 22. It's got to be on an even volume.
Those fucking idiots.
Okay. I didn't know if you had OCD to that level or not.
No.
Okay. Well, it is funny. I just
No.
don't.
Oh my God. He does.
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Love you, lady. Bye-bye.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to FCFnetwork.com.